All right. So we have some slow ass moving energy coming up here, and it's mostly because somebody is cultivating and trying to get to a place of happiness. Like they're trying their very hardest to manifest the happiness that they want. So they're taking it slow, they're being very cautious with it, but they're really putting in the work necessary, okay? They're really trying to, you know, put in some sort of like foundation, if that makes sense. They're really putting in the grunt work. They're not trying to speed past this, they're not trying to hurry things up. They're trying to be gradual with it. It's a gradual pace, and it's obviously towards everlasting, right? So at least to try to make something last for a long time. Now, with release your ex, time to release, time to clear your energy. The only card I see here regarding, well, actually, there's two cards I see here regarding this. Actually, four. Death, Tower, and the Eight of Cups. Like, those cards right there does talk about clearing your energy. And even the Hierophant, in a way, can do that. And you would think that the Hierophant would have that release your ex type of energy, but when it comes to fives, you are shifting or changing something, and that change is releasing of something, letting something go, and embracing something new. And it's usually just like both of those is happening at the same time, adjusting, changing. So you're letting go of perspective and embracing a new perspective that truly and completely tailors to you. So I feel like the progress is coming from a certain standpoint, and how somebody perceives moving forward. The cautiousness, the speed, and how things are moving forward. Things are changing regarding that. So pick the side that resonates with you guys the most, Capricorn, okay? Because I'm going to start with this person here. The Page of Cups is the person's mental state, right? This mental plane area, right? So the way they think about this relationship is the Page of Cups. So I think this person is very much aware that there's communication that's needed. They know this is their heart's desire. It's something that they cherish and they nurture very closely to their hearts. This is something that they love very deeply and very emotionally. This is something that this is extremely precious to them, right? So I think they also understand too that the relationship is in desperate need of heart-to-heart conversation, right? There's definitely a need to communicate and talk things through, and to be open about how they feel and how they, what they want going forward regarding the relationship. Now, the other person, how they think about this relationship is the Eight of Cups. Now, it could be two things. This person's feeling emotionally drained, and this relationship no longer offers what they feel like what they want. But it's mostly because they were looking towards a relationship as a source to figure out what they wanted, which wasn't the place to do it in the first place. Well, it was, because I think the relationship displayed something to them that honestly would help them go after what they want, right? That I don't think I don't know if this is them saying, you know what, I'm done with this relationship. You did, it served me for a purpose of finding my true self or finding what makes me happy. I'm done. It could be just that this person realizes what they don't want, but they also see the relationship as an opportunity to seek out what they do. But the relationship, here's the thing: the Eight of Cups, you don't know what your heart's desire is yet. Not until the Nine of Cups. And I feel like this is probably like they know what they don't want, and they're going in this relationship thinking, I don't want what I don't want. I don't want, obviously, what I already know doesn't make me happy. I think this also person shows that they're emotionally drained with the situation, and they're looking to find what their heart's desire really is, right? Well, this person has it. Obviously, I think this person's seeking it. It's interesting, right? You got the seeker and obviously the person that possesses the heart's desire, and this person is literally looking for the Page of Cups, right? And I think that they are so emotionally drained that they don't obviously see that what they have, the person that the thing that they want is right in front of them, because they are already looking at the situation from a standpoint of, I don't want this. I've gone through this. I don't know everything that they've been through, or the situation from a standpoint of what makes them dissatisfied. Now, how they're showing themselves is the King of Wands. They're going after what they feel. They're going by the moment here. When the King of Wands comes up, there's no really long-term energy. This is all like in the moment kind of rapid thought. So they're not coming from a place of trying to create something for the long term. They're creating, they're going based off their hearts and their heart's desire in the moment. I know it sounds very Knight of Wandsy, but the King of Wands does construct this in a very creative way. It's not flighty like the Knight of Wands. It's more of a, I'm truly going to truly going after what I want, truly going after what makes me feel good. And they are truly just being in the moment and just finding the happiness within themselves and not trying to find it outside of themselves. So the way that I feel with the King of Wands differs from the Knight of Wands is that the King of Wands, he doesn't necessarily, he commits to what he wants to do, and he makes, he does put in the energy and the time to grow it to its fruition. The Knight of Wands is just like, he's great with fun and having, starting something and coming up with great ideas. But of course, when shit hits the fan and it gets a little serious, even if it's a project that he wanted to start out initially, he doesn't stick around. And the King of Wands, in my opinion, he does stick around for it, but it's of course because he understands that he knows what he wants and he knows what he's going for, and therefore he can continue to use that energy of passion to continue to build on that. So this person is very, very passionate right now. They're expressing themselves immensely. I feel like the King of Wands is a great expresser. They're living their life as freely as they possibly can because they are emotionally drained, giving their energy away to situations that didn't satisfy them at all. So they're being very, very passionate and very true to themselves, being authentic to themselves. They're no longer, being the person that's stable or that's reliable. They're just being themselves. They're not thinking about the long term at all. Now, the other person has got Death here. Now, even though they're thinking of the relationship, or how they think of the relationship is the Page of Cups, maybe something that they've wanted, the desperate need of heart-to-heart conversation, or this is a cultivation of something that they want, they're releasing the past. So I feel like they're wanting to start something new here, really with the Page of Cups. They're opening their heart up, but the more they open their heart up, they realize that they're having to let go of the past, let go of the old things that didn't work out, let go of a situation that may not have benefited them, or that did benefit them in some way, but no longer serves them to hold that sort of perspective, that sort of stance, that sort of belief anymore. You know what I mean? Because what is before the Death card? It's the Hanged Man, and that's talking about releasing a certain perspective. And I feel like with Death coming up here with this person, it's like, I feel like this person's like, they're having to to let go of some things, and they're having to leave behind grudges and pains and anguish. They're trying to, heal themselves. And even though this relationship for them is, of course, something that they've wanted, I think they have to ultimately be honest with themselves that honestly, they have to heal first. And I think this relationship is opening the door for them to heal and bring in new life. You know what I mean? Because death isn't just about releasing. It's also about new life. It's also about having space, or having the space to incorporate and to give birth to something new. Now, with the Hierophant coming up in the spiritual plane, it's giving us a bit of background as to why this person is displaying themselves as death and thinking the Page of Cups, and the Hierophant telling us that this is about traditions, this is about commitments, this is about their routine and traditions for them. I think they're changing a lot of things that they believe and they feel and they think, because there may be a dynamic between this person and them that's different. Okay, this person may have very youthful energies to them. They may have a characteristic about them that shows that they're very young in their mind, right? They're very, youthful in the way that they go about life, right? They're very open and innocent in some ways, but they're very youthful. They have a youthful dynamic. But the thing is that they may have some traditional differences, right? There's some things that they may have, they obviously encourage this person to let go of the, some sort of perspective that's not allowing them to have what they want, which is what the Page of Cups is offering them too. And the Hierophant talks about, yes, the structure, routines, traditions, things like that. But it's the fifth card in the major arcana, so that fives are changes. So this person is changing their traditional beliefs, the traditional standpoints, the traditional, laws for themselves, in order for there to be new love, to be to new life, period, and something new to come in. And they're having to change their structure, their boundaries, their their belief systems, so that way there can be growth. Now the other person showing up is the Queen of Pentacles. Now Capricorn, that may be you here, because the Queen and Queens are cardinal signs. That doesn't mean you're a female. It just means that you are a cardinal sign, and it is true. Capricorns are cardinal signs, just the same as Aries, Cancer, and Libra. And I feel like the reason why the Eight of Cups is showing up here, in the mind space, and why this person is showing up here as the King of Wands, just kind of being authentic to who they are, just going after what they want, and them, being honest with who they are, is because of the Queen of Pentacles. And what does that really mean? Well, the Queen of Pentacles is independent. They know their value. They know their worth. And it's also having a lot to do with confidence. And the King of Wands, the Queen of Pentacles, they are very, very confident in themselves. Why? Well, the Queen of Pentacles, like I said, she knows her worth, and she knows her worth because she puts in the work. She has a structure that balances her life out for herself and for the things outside of herself. She's a provider for the family, for herself. She is she's someone that's reliable for herself and to other people. She has shown herself. She's got things that she has about herself that she truly admires and cherishes and sees great value in, and will see great value in someone else. And with the King of Wands, this passion, this willingness to fight, the willingness to go after what they want, and to truly, and to be themselves regardless of how other people feel, that is what brings them confidence. Their uniqueness, their sense of creativity, and their the inspiration they gain from being themselves is what drives them to be confident. And I feel like it's interesting that the Hierophant and the Queen of Pentacles are the spiritual planes for both of these people, because they also have a lot to do with commitments too. Okay, both of them have to do with commitments, and commitments to themselves and commitments to other people. That's, this person is looking to find value with themselves, at least on this side, because based off of how they feel and what they go after and what they feel the most inspired and most authentic. It's very interesting, really, because the cards that brought these two together, the card that brought these two guys together is the Tower. It was some completely 100% unexpected. What brought you guys together was that there were some changes that were happening in your lives, and it definitely changes that honestly brought you down to ground zero. Like, you guys were starting from the very beginning, kind of trying to figure out who you were as a person. And the challenge now is the Page of Swords. It's cultivating a truth within yourselves that honestly helps you to understand each other a lot better. It's really interesting, right? I think the more you understand yourself, the more you understand each other. And that understanding is what's going to obviously continue the growth and the stable building that this relationship is already on the course of. The Page of Swords also is the challenge, meaning that there is communication that hasn't been had, or there's a need for communication here. Challenge is showing that there is a need for more information. And I feel like in order for there to be more information, you have to be able to seek out what you believe in and what your truth is within yourself. What is your truth with yourself? Therefore, you'll find the truth that's needed for the other person, and perhaps even the will to communicate with one another. All right, let's take a look at your whispers of love. See what you guys got. Oh wow, focus on love. I haven't seen this card in a little bit. Focus on love. Look for the good attributes in each and every person in your life. And focus on love is such a powerful card, because you don't necessarily need to look at the facts or the physical stuff. It's about how you feel, and it's about the things that, it's understanding the person's character and the dynamics of that person's character, of course, of what came to be and how it came to be in the first place, that this card is asking you to delve into. It's like very hangman-ish, kind of like seeing something from a different angle, but it's like focusing on the parts that bring you two together, not the parts that split you two apart. Releasing your ex isn't necessarily about letting someone go from the past. It's also about letting go of it's really about letting go of the pains or the things that hold you back from keeping you from that's keeping you from being able to have a future with either a new person or the person that you want to return to. You know, focus on the good things, focus on the positive, focus on the attributes that encourage growth, and understand and forgive the attributes that aren't that great, that have split you apart, that makes you, that have hurt you. Understand and forgive those, but put them to rest. It's big, family. It's really big. And with that said, I'm going to go ahead and let you guys go.